Disclaimers here. You're welcome to take a picture of that as always and read through that if you haven't done that at any point yet. But I am going to cover the most important points here on this summary. Number one, this may contain some forward-looking statements. There are no earnings claims or financial advice given. The digital rewards are for utility, DYOR, or do your own research. The information provided is for educational purposes. And the nodes and the blockchains are governed by the DGF, or the Distributed Governance Framework. So there you have it. We're going to go ahead and we'll take that off for just a second here. And a couple of things I just wanted to mention. I love talking with our community members, and I've had the opportunity to meet many of you that came to Vegas, of course, and have many conversations with individuals outside of that as well. And one of the things that I just love is how heart-centric and driven this community is, trying to really reach out and bless people in big ways. You know that we believe here in this community that blockchain has the ability to change the world. And that is a platitude that's said often by a lot of different groups and people. I think sometimes it's even overused, but I believe it actually here inside of this community. I believe that we have the ability, with proof of action, to truly change the world, because it's not just some saying. There are actions behind it. There are proof of those actions that are happening on the blockchain in a variety of different impact projects that, of course, you can find only here in the Connect community. And so I love it. And I was on a conversation. We were having a Zoom call just earlier with some of the different leaders, and just talking about what we want this culture to be like, what we want people, what kind of people we want to attract. And we talked about attracting people that are willing to challenge and not persecute, right? We want to get down on people. We want to challenge people to elevate themselves. We talked about coaching people rather than trying to rescue people. There's a difference, right? There's a difference between helping someone to find their way and lift their way out of a certain situation and pulling someone out yourself, right? We want to challenge people. We want to coach people. And then, of course, we want to help people to become creators and not stay victims in their circumstances. And these are some of those core things that we were talking about and what we want to infuse into this community. And I just loved the conversation so much. Thought I would share it here a little bit as well. And of course, this is continually evolving as we grow together and find out more about who we are and how we're gonna fulfill the mission of getting this out to a billion people, and of course, having 100 million users of the products and services, and a million node owners and 10,000 block blocks. Which, by the way, all of those numbers that I just said, those are just starting points, right? Those are the beginning. Those aren't the end. And I'm really excited for that, because we actually have a platform where those things are possible. And when we do those things, when we start at those amazing points, the world will change. We literally will be a force to change the world. And I'm super excited for that. So anyway, with that, I want to go ahead and turn the time over to Trace and Jim. And thanks, gentlemen, for jumping on here and being with us as always. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate you. And the time's yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miller. Good to see you on. Trace, Allie, good to see you guys. Let us look here at the chat, what's coming up. So we're going to give a little update here. And yes, there's some personal development process. I guess I'll go ahead and start off with that since Ranjit talked about that. Next week, we have one call on Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. And I want to explain this process. Number one, anyone and everyone is invited. All right. So whether they're in the Connect community or not, this is a process I've been doing for, I'm guessing, around 18 years, something like that. I mean, I started it for me personally, and then I started doing it in our companies, and then I opened it up to the world. And what was interesting is, for me, in my own reality, there's a lot that happens throughout the year. And I'm sure that each of you has 1,000 things going on. And if you're a mom, you have 10,000 things going on, because they seem to do 10 times the work of anybody else, as well as everything else they're doing. And I started this process because I realized one year that, wait a second, I'm in the habit of setting goals, but I wasn't in the habit of reviewing my year. And there were years where I was accomplishing a lot, but I didn't feel like I was fully winning. So I created this process and I'll share with you now so you can prepare for it a little bit. And then we're going to send you flyers, emails, and a packet to go through. But it's called an annual year in review. And you want to gather up your calendar. You want to gather up your journals if you have. And what we're going to do is there's a couple of parts to it. The first part is you're going to go through this review process on your own, where you kind of look back and go, what was my year? Right? What were the things that were memorable for me? And when you look at your photos, you're probably going to see things that you forgot about, right? That's what happened for me. I was like, wow, I forgot about this big experience or event. So number one thing it does is it kind of stacks evidence that you've had a pretty amazing year, right? And that's not to say that there aren't some hard things. We lost very close loved ones with us, but we still look back at that and go, man, it's a celebration of life, right? It's gratitude for the relationships we have. So whether you have had some, challenging things happen or whether everything's been fantastic this year, it's all part of the life by design type of thinking. So that's number one. Then I'm going to guide you through a process using a framework that I've been teaching for years called the 9 environments of you. And I'll share more about this next year when we do this 90-day challenge that we're going to launch at the beginning of the year. But there's a concept one of my mentors taught me called the 9 environments of you. And what it did is allowed me to look at my life in one picture. And with that, I could start doing life by design instead of life by default. I could start looking at my relationships, my finances, my spirituality, my belief systems, all of these things in one place and go, what are the things that are inspiring me? They're adding energy. And what are the things that are draining me? What are the things that are pulling me back or holding me back? And from that place, you can start to architect your goals going forward. What I noticed is for a lot of people, they discount their wins and they forget about them or they just minimize them. They also drag their past into their future. In other words, they just go and set goals. And a lot of times those goals look like the same goal year after year after year after year. But by doing this year in review process, my hope is you look back at the year, you acknowledge your wins, and then you set new goals that take you into the next level of your game. Okay. So it will be recorded on Monday. It will be at 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. It'll be longer than 30 minutes. It'll be an hour, and it's a guided process. You're welcome to invite anybody you want. We'll give you the assets to share with other people. It'll be on a Zoom just like this. And, obviously live is the best because it's an experience and I'm going to guide you through a timed process. And then there's a couple things I won't share with you, but it's something I've been doing forever. Forever, 17 years. And it's helped me and a lot of people in our companies and just in general. And we're bringing that to Connect as part of our new culture initiatives for next year. So we have a lot of exciting technology things we're doing. We have a lot of team growth. Maybe Trace can talk about that a little bit. We have a lot of initiatives that are in our future. And one of the core ones is we want to make sure that we attract the most positive, inspiring blockchain community that's ever existed. The true impact players and impact entrepreneurs that want to change their life and change the world. So we're going to, invest in ourselves and we're going to build an incredible blockchain ecosystem that allows us to create magic next year in 2025. So that's a little tee up. I started with the end in mind there, Trace. I'm not sure what you have on your plate there. I know we've got a lot of new people we've been onboarding.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. By the way, I put that in the chat a minute ago about not missing. I don't like to tell people what not to do. I try really not to ever say don't miss. We really want to make it so that everybody can show up on Monday. It's what I love doing things that people have been doing for decades and they've mastered. Jim's mastered this. And so it's going to be an opportunity to do something that not only is like Jim, the master of it and the creator of it, but the alignment with the team and the culture in 2025 is going to be next level. Like we worked really hard, like starting in like July of this year on culture and did all the block calls. And we've tried to share a lot of stuff with the community about whatever. I guess, did we start them in December, Allie? Or when did we start the entire community calls? November, right? December.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're bringing the entire community in, and to set that culture and to set that vibe and to get clear on goals and all that kind of stuff. It's something people would pay a lot of money for and would kill to be a part of. Like it's so cool. But nobody knows it because they've never done it. And so we are like this is like the first time we're doing this Connect. So please help everybody, as many people as can attend, come, because I think that's going to be really amazing. I just want to let people know this is just kind of transparency from decentralized operations in front of the community to let you know what's happening around here. And so I mentioned a couple weeks ago that we were going to have a new upgrade and kind of enhance our customer service capabilities. And so we've started onboarding a world-class customer service leader inside of the entire decentralized ecosystem. And her onboarding started this week. So I just wanted you guys to know we said we were going to do that, and it's happening. The other thing is we've started onboarding someone to be over communications. I said this to her actually, and I said this to when we were kind of on your onboarding. The biggest problem in every company and every group and every organization I've ever worked with in my entire life is communication. Like there's nobody has ever not put that on the list of what are our biggest problems, and communication has been such a challenge because we've grown so much this year. And we'll do kind of a year in review, but we've added tens of thousands of people, you guys, tens of thousands of people this year. We have added NFTs. We've added all kinds of stuff. We've run sales promotions like we've never done before. And so we're putting in place some call it more robust communication, decentralized ecosystem wide, but especially here at Connect, especially for anyone who's sharing and selling and helping grow the community. John T wants to meet them. Yes, we can throw him in the hot seat. It'll be so fun. It's whenever you show up here, I don't know who in here, if you want to blow up the chat and say this is your first meeting at Connect, because we add new people every day. And there's probably some new people here who have been invited. If you're new, you can just kind of raise your hand and awkwardly say, I'm new. But the thing is it's like drinking the fire hose, kind of whatever analogy. I say eating an elephant. Sometimes I say eating a whale, one bite at a time. We're bringing him in. We will put him in the hot seat. John, it's going to be, John, you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but John, out of just the awesomeness of trying to represent the frontline sales force and everybody, John shows up every morning at 8:30 or 9. Sorry, now it's 9:00 Mountain Time with the dev team and with Connect Decentralized Ops. And he gives us the best feedback and helps us figure things out. And it's amazing. So yes, John, you might even meet him first they'll probably show up on that stand up, starting next Monday. So anyway, so good times. Who wants better customer service? Everybody. Who wants better communication? Everybody. Who wants to get better at doing that? All of us. And so, yeah, Kim, well, welcome to the train ride. Exactly. Kind of saddle up. It's going to be so fun. So anyway, that's what's happening on the operations side. So just, we're doing that. It'll kind of keep us busy through the holidays, and then they're going to hit the ground running in January. And you'll be hearing from them a lot and seeing a lot. The other thing is probably on the marketing side, and Jim, you might want to say what's happening with marketing as well, because part of the communication is, something you're working on and we're kind of onboarding too. So.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, so we are bringing on board 2 agencies that are run by friends of mine. They both have full staff and teams. They are node owners and extremely passionate about the impact projects. And so already we just signed them. Well, actually, we don't even finish the ink's not even dried yet, but they hopped right in. They have helped us with a Section 179 campaign. And I saw the first draft of it today. I don't know that I've ever seen a marketing draft a week before we launch something. So we have it out today. We reviewed it. Those are assets that are going to be for each of you December 26th through the 31st. But the marketing guys are awesome. And they are going to work with us on some campaigns to start. They're going to work with us on the Connect website, which I know many of you are like, when are we going to have a website up front? Right? They're going to work with us on marketing the 90-day challenge that we're going to be running in January. So I'm super excited about them. They're super excited about all of us. They can't wait to meet everybody in the community. As a matter of fact, they've been hopping on these community calls as members And they are world class. They're experts in branding. They're experts in copy. They're experts in building funnels, all these things. And I think they're going to help us raise our game.
Yeah. I just love that they're node owners and they came in and they've been selling and sharing themselves. So it's not like some random group of people. They're people we know who are part of the community already. And so it's when we talk about garnering like the resources from the community, I just love watching real community members who kind of know what it's really like and they can see us and they want to come along for our journey as we kind of grow this thing together. So really good news on that front. So anyway, that's what's happening on that. A couple other things, just updates. You guys will notice made a bunch of progress on distribution. And so distribution's been running properly. They've been getting that recorded and it's going forward and it'll be done in days. They're making sure that the foundations nodes distribution now is working properly. And I wanted to make sure everybody understood what that is when anyone sells a foundations node, it actually divides up all of the rewards across all the brands. And so just making sure that works. The 14th is the day that starts. And so started. And so that's 5 days ago. And so they're just ironing out a few of the things to make sure that the code is all working properly. And so that'll all be updated. I think that they'll probably be done with catching up all distribution. The goal is to have it done this week. And so they're pushing really hard to do that. And I appreciate everybody's patience with that. Yeah, those are the Connect Pay updates that I'm talking about. Yeah.
I was just going to say, we probably need to connect. I know, just kind of going back for the new people, some people don't know the difference between distribution and Connect Pay. So it might be really good just for us to kind of call that out every once in a while as we get new people here.
100%. Yeah. So Connect Pay, there are two kinds of distribution. One happens in Connect Pay, and those are the proof of action. Like I'm sharing, and anytime a transaction goes through the Connect shopping cart, it gets distributed through the algorithm. And so that's what shows up in Connect Pay. And then for running your node or doing other actions, part of the win distribution is just win. So it's win rewards. It doesn't have anything to, it doesn't have anything to do with really the other brands. It's just for running your node or doing different actions. If you run all the action points and things that you get for that, those come through the win distribution. And so that's the win distribution. And then you have the distribution for everything gets sold. And so when it sells, the cool thing about your win node is because it connects you to all the blockchains, when sales come through Connect, when the distributor runs, you can actually receive rewards from all the blockchains. And if you're a block bot, 20% of all the sales that go through the Connect shopping cart get distributed out in the form of node support rewards to all of the block bots. And so you're connected to the Win blockchain. And if you become a block bot, you're going to get rewards distributed from all around the entire decentralized ecosystem. And so that's really cool. But I think we need to, Allie, in order for me to explain this really clearly, you probably need to put like a couple slides together because it's just going to.
Yeah, totally. I just was thinking, some people maybe just connecting the dots a little bit. So when distribution is paused, Connect Pay will be paused because they go hand in hand together. And so I think a lot of people have been asking a lot of questions around that and just not quite understanding and putting in some maybe tickets that their Connect Pay is not working. So I just thought maybe just connecting those dots for those that are new. Distribution impacts Connect Pay because they go hand in hand. So if you have questions around that or anything along those lines, jumping into the Discord, there's a lot of people that have been around that can explain how that works. But just making sure everybody kind of understands, because I know Lulu put in here, any Connect Pay updates, but when we're talking about distribution, it's impacting Connect Pay. So they do go hand in hand. And so just thought that might be helpful for some people that are new here on the block, so to speak.
Yeah, 100%, Allie. And so on the, so what happened was, so after our vote, there were some updates to the code and the distribution. We don't like to mess around with distribution. We like to make sure it's accurate. And as you update code, you make sure and test it a lot. And so what's been happening is all of the changes that were put in place, it's just kind of slowed down the distribution running process. And it took a little bit longer than we thought it would to do it. And so they're just making sure that that's correct. And that is the deal. And so BTC Mike, is Foundations a node like other brands? Yes, it is. You do not need to run it yet because they haven't started their distribution yet. So any node that hasn't started distribution of its own reward, you don't have to run it. So you don't have to run a Foundations AI node. You don't need to run a Codex node yet. And you don't need to run an Elevate node. When distribution starts, there'll be communication that goes out that says, hey, time to start running it. We'll probably have some pop-ups communication on the website that says, hey, this is going live on this date. Make sure you run it. And so it won't be a secret when that happens. And so that's the deal with those. So no, you don't need to run them. I'm just make sure if I have any other questions. This Thursday call is it's a good time to kind of get some questions out.
One thing that's been popping up just in support, I don't know if this is like helpful too to kind of connect some dots here, is with the foundations nodes, you are still earning rewards right now, but the distribution's not running. So when we say we're going on chain with a project, what that means is it's the infancy and it's kind of starting. It's not quite progressed all the way. It's not quite walking yet. So the one unique thing about foundations is you're able to earn some rewards right now for purchasing on the promotion, but that's different than the distribution. That's also, we've been getting a lot of questions around that. And then also the hosting credits on Codex. Because Codex is, again, kind of in its infancy as far as it's a project that was paused and is coming back and getting put back onto the blockchain. There's a little bit of steps in between that have to happen for it to be able to walk, so to speak. So there will be communications going out on that too. And there's some hosting credits, which is awesome. 2 years of hosting is an amazing opportunity to get that bundled and help support the project that really can help the node software explode and go decentralized. So those are great promotions, but there's just some clarifications. I know they're in the FAQs, but sometimes it's not fun to click on all those links. So we just want to make sure that if you guys have any questions on that, everybody's on the same page. Communications are still going to be sent out, and we'll make sure everybody gets taken care of as always. So appreciate everybody's support on that.
All right, seeking help. So, okay, so what somebody wants to do is, so Hal, that's Hal and Cindy. So there have been a number of trainings. We probably can't cover this in just the few minutes we have left, but if you wanted to go convert you want to take some of your R-Link, it says, you want to go sell it, convert it into USDT, and then come back and purchase a foundations node, you can absolutely do that. I wonder, is there somewhere that, because we've done a few trainings on how to go sell some rewards if you want to sell them or swap them on a MetaMask wallet or something like that. John T, did you guys ever put a document? I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but was there something that we put out? Because I think some of the brands have actually put some instructions on how to do that. I just wonder if somebody can. John T did a video. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Let's get that video to Hal and Cindy.
I can get that out. We can send that out in our community updates email too, just so that it's referenced.
Okay, awesome. That's perfect. Yeah, let's get that. Hal and Cindy, that's awesome. When can we expect Brant? So we get a lot of questions. A lot of people want to hear from Brant. Brant has been a super busy guy, doing a lot of stuff, including like the smart flow process with revenue and all kinds of things. Brant will be here soon, so we'll have him on the agenda. So since we started doing these, and that kind of back to what Jim was saying, we've had these 4 5 o'clock calls, 4 per week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, going for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Next week, the only call is on Monday, so make sure that you show up on Monday. That's the amazing stuff that Jim's been doing for like decades and is super good at, almost 2 decades now. So that'll be a lot of fun. Once we kind of reconvene with the new year, we're going to have this 90-day challenge. The brand presidents will be integrated into that. And so there'll be an opportunity for Brant to get on. And he'll probably start doing some of his own kind of community calls too, as well. So we don't have the schedule finalized for when Brant's going to present, but I do keep getting a lot of questions about that. When can we hear from him? He will be a very interesting person to talk to. So very, very awesome.
Brant's been traveling and geeking out and doing all the things. So we're also trying to manage his schedule with him too.
Yeah,
he'll be here soon, guys. He's working away on Elevate.
Allie, this is from BTC Mike. So where do we go or who to contact for the boost bonus for the foundations purchase? I think there's going to be a form that people fill out, right, to elect those?
There is a form. So there's going to be another communication going out to all the individuals that have purchased foundations to make sure that they get that completed. So look out in your emails.
You got a puppy you wanting to talk to.
My puppy pack decided to go off because we had a dog.
Winnie Moo.
I know, Winnie Moo, my dog. It's Tracy's favorite. So we are actually going to be sending out a communication on that. And you should keep an eye out on your emails. And then foundations will also be sending out additional emails. So you'll get contact from them directly as well. But we're going to help handle that right now on the Connect site as they're getting some things updated on their side. So if you have any questions, reach out to Connect support on foundations or Codex or Elevate at this time. So you can go to support.connectunited.com, and that's how you can reach Emily and the team and everybody, and we'll help you get taken care of.
Awesome. Very good. I saw a little note. Maybe I'll call this out. This is just kind of a comment from Hal and Cindy. So Hal and Cindy said, only use cash from USD already earned, no selling of tokens. Sounds like Hal and Cindy are hodlers. A lot of people in the community like to hodl. Hodl expresses and so some people can't hodl, some people can hodl, like whatever it is. And so people technically they can sell their rewards and they could cash them out or do what they need to do. A lot of people hodl them. There's NFT bonuses for hodling. We've talked about that before. So I wanted to kind of let people know that like people who support the community through actions that kind of help the community get rewards. One of the cool ones is when NFTs drop through the nodes, if you're hodling for every X amount of tokens that you're holding, so if you're holding like for every 100,000 or every 25,000 or whatever it is, whatever that drop of NFTs to the nodes includes, if you have rewards in your wallet, it will give you entries towards that random distribution of NFTs. And so I would say that a lot of people like to hodl. I know I'm not selling any of my tokens or any of my rewards. I love them so much. People can do that if they need to, but I love Hal and Cindy 100% with you. You guys are locked arms with me. I have zero interest in going and getting rid of any of my rewards, especially at this point with what's going on. So anyway, that was I just wanted to kind of point that out. Let's see. All right. Yeah, so Jimmy was just asking which wallet. So when and this will be something we probably need to find a way to explain really clearly, Allie, and we're kind of coming up on the end of this call. Yeah. When you're hodling rewards, one cool thing about anybody who joined Connect today. So we had a bunch of people join today. They came in and they set up an account. If they chose to auto link with the partner brand accounts, they have one wallet across all of their accounts. So they don't need to worry about like having different wallets. Some people prefer to have different wallets across their accounts, or some people are old like me. I've been around for a minute. When I signed up at Connect, there was no auto link option. And so I have like 12 different seed phrases. I have accounts with all the brands. It's really confusing to keep track of, but I have this like giant list of all of my stuff written down. And so what happens is if I'm going to hodl Switch, I actually have to hodl it in my Switch wallet. I don't send it to my Connect wallet because it's a different wallet. So I'm hodling my Grow in my Grow wallet, my Rally in my Rally wallet. But if you're a new customer, because it's all one wallet, if you auto link, you just hodl in that one wallet. And so it's a little bit confusing for people who've been around. I heard today, no promises. I heard today that the foundations team had prioritized and was working through making it so you can actually put your Connect wallet into your brand accounts if you're an older customer like me. I cannot wait till that happens. I'm so excited. Some people are still going to want to keep them separate for security reasons and different things, and that's a personal preference, but I'm very excited for that. So anyway, that is, I promise you, no promises, John T. I love you.
Grace, we have one more thing on the wallets too that just might be helpful for some people to know. Those new node owners, if you decide not to use the auto linking feature when you set up your Connect account, you'll want to make sure to go back in and set up your wallet. You will have to go through and set up them individually though. So those of you that are new on that, I would, if you're bringing in people and helping them get started with Connect, I would encourage you to use the auto linking feature right when you set up your account, because it will make your life a lot easier, just like Trace said. So if you haven't done that, or you have any questions on your nodes or anything like that, a wallet has to be set up in order to receive rewards on your nodes. So just want to make sure, we've got some newbies on the phone too. So again, just making sure we close all of those questions that have been coming in this week.
Yeah. Good ones. Okay, so there's one question. I just want to touch on Arian's question really quick because he was asking about the nerd message. So there was an email that went out. So sometimes blockchain projects don't work out, like any startup. Sometimes that doesn't happen. And so Nerd actually has a really cool product, this Perspect product they've been working on for a long time. They had a lot of great community supporters. They still do have some community supporters. But Nerd is working through trying to figure out, and this is when I say Nerd, I'm talking about a community, not a company. Okay, so like it's the community of Nerd and the node owners. They've been trying to, and I'm a community member, just in case you guys are wondering. Of like I own hypernodes and run them every day. And so when a brand is doing kind of a reinvention, or if they're looking for some new leadership or different kinds of things, that's a time where we want, and why we took Nerd out of the shopping cart is, until they kind of get back on track, we don't want to keep promoting and selling their products and services. And so we believe that, the community, and I say we, speaking for me, I guess, personally, but a lot of community members, that there's still a good opportunity for Nerd to provide a really great product. The product they were working on is super critical for decentralized operations and ecosystem. And so a lot of people believe in that still, but they need to get it on track. And so Arian said, what did node owners have to do now? Nothing changes with the blockchain. The hyper blockchain is still running. If you run your node software, you'll still, because it's once it's set in motion and the charter is going, like that's in motion, right? And so you can continue to run your node. You can continue to earn rewards. You don't have to do anything. And so that's kind of an answer to that. So.
Well, and to also to your point, Trace, just really quick, because sometimes that question kind of confuses people a little bit too, is that the community can drive the project forward. Just because there's not identified leadership on a project doesn't mean that the project has stopped or anything along those lines. It just means that the community needs to come to consensus on how they get there. So if you have ideas for leadership on that project and you're part of the nerd community, you can totally propose that too. So just kind of throwing out those concepts there as far as just a community-led project doesn't mean that it, just because it doesn't have a specific person driving it, doesn't mean that it's, not going anywhere. It just is where the community wants it to go.
Yeah. And look, I think we should probably take this to another call at some point, so everybody understands how these blockchains, what it takes to spin up one of these blockchains, what does it take to then develop out and build a blockchain community? How are the projects decided, all this kind of stuff. And then what happens when a project stalls for whatever reasons, right? And then how can those projects pick up momentum again? So for Pixel, for example, we're testing these marketing partners to see, hey, if you can crush it with us at Connect, and then you can work with some of the other brands, is there an opportunity for you to come over and work with us to take back up Pixel as an example, right? So I don't ever want people to think, oh, the project's dead or this or that. It's basically, the nodes are still running, right? The blockchain's still running, but there's not a leadership that's clear on what they want to implement next as far as that community support. So, that's the way I look at it. The same way as if a company, has products and services or selling in the market every day, but all of a sudden, something happens to the CEO, maybe they have a family, emergency, or CEO dies, and they need new leadership in there with a vision and can carry on the mission. So, maybe somebody in this community that's watching right now and be like, hey, I built, sold, and exited numerous, marketing agencies or something like that. And I would love to do something like this. Fantastic. Let's raise your hand. Let's talk about what is your vision, the mission that you want to carry forward. If the community says, we believe in this person, let's get behind them and let's go. That's the community support. So it's a different model than I think what most people are used to, where you have a board of directors and a CEO and a president and this and that. That's the world that I've come from. But this is a different way to do it. It's more crowdsourcing the whole project, which I love. So
yeah,
I think it's also great to recognize. Oh, sorry. I think it's also great to recognize that Bitcoin has been called dead over 400 times. I mean, the world had a lot of different people, a lot of different countries have said, hey, Bitcoin is dead, it's done, it's happened over 400 times in its lifetime. So yeah, don't listen to the hype.
I heard a comedian talking about Chuck E. Cheese one time. He said they've been trying to go out of business for years, they just can't do it.
That's
So,
right.
you know.
That's right.
Projects are all about their community and them driving. So we've had, projects that have been around for years that the community actually stepped up and decided they were going to run by them like as a community, and they don't have a specific leadership. So there's many ways that could unfold. So sky's the limit, guys. So I just maybe consider that.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, with that, we're going to close up. And, it's an interesting thing as we talk about growth and development and leadership next year. How are we leading ourselves into this new world, these new economies, the new whatever? If you look around the room and you can't tell who the leader is, you might want to look back at yourself and say, maybe that's because I'm supposed to be leading. So think about that as we go into this weekend. And again, know that next Monday, we're doing the annual year in review. We'll get you the flyer, the email, and everything you need to get ready to rock and roll for that. The packet, in the packet, you'll do just the first part. It says in there, don't do the whole thing because it'll ruin the process. So you can do part of it on your own, but you'll see that in the packet. Invite everybody get your whole team on there. There's not a better way to close out the year than to take a look back, see what worked, see where you can make improvements, and then from a place of empowered psychology, let's set some amazing goals coming into the next year. So on behalf of myself and the rest of the team, until we connect again, have fun. And remember, it's your choice to create an ultimate life. Game on.